There are certain paintings that seem completely harmless, but if placed in the wrong spot, they can silently drain your home's wealth like water seeping into sand and slowly wear down the harmony within your family. Hello, I am Master Han. In Feng Shui, many paintings hanging in our homes may appear to be merely decorative at first glance. However, they are actually influencing the overall energy flow of the living space in a very real way. Every image carries its own energetic field, and that energy can either support or disrupt the flow of prosperity depending on how we choose and position it. When an inappropriate image is placed in a key location, it can disturb the balance of energy in the home, often in ways that are invisible to the naked eye. Once the energy field falls out of harmony, the flow of wealth no longer moves smoothly as it should. The home's energy starts to feel heavy, vitality weakens, work and productivity tend to stall, and relationships within the family become more sensitive or strained. Just one unsuitable painting can make the people living in the house feel tired, unfocused, and unable to maintain a warm, peaceful atmosphere. And it all begins with that seemingly harmless image hanging on your wall, something most people overlook without a second thought. That is why in this video, we are going to explore 10 types of paintings that may appear harmless but can actually reduce positive energy, block financial prosperity, and disrupt family harmony. But before we begin, take a moment to leave a comment with a powerful affirmation such as, "The energy of wealth in my home is always protected and nourished every single day." And do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you can continue walking with me on the path of unlocking lasting prosperity. Now, to understand how a single painting could throw off the entire energy flow of a home, we are going to go through each specific type in detail. Sometimes just one small detail on your wall can determine whether your family's fortune begins to flow or gets completely stuck. The first painting, images of wild predators. Many families hang paintings of tigers, leopards, or eagles, believing they symbolize strength and protection. But in applied feng shui, aggressive imagery like this actually creates a form of tense and rigid energy. When placed in the living room, a space that should invite calmness and vital energy, the sharp features of predatory animals can weigh down the atmosphere. This goes against the goal of maintaining harmony and balance in the home. The fierce gaze and attack-ready posture of wild animals may trigger a constant sense of alertness among those living in the house. When the eyes are repeatedly exposed to tense visual signals, the body struggles to stay naturally relaxed. This reduces focus and even hinders open communication among family members. Practical feng shui does not deal with supernatural luck, but rather with how visual elements directly affect our emotions, behaviors, and the rhythm of energy in a living space. If you are drawn to strong, bold styles, you can still opt for artwork that embodies resilience or stability, but in a more peaceful manner, such as abstract pieces, modern geometric forms, or animals in calm poses. These choices still reflect personality without creating excessive visual tension. A space that conveys safety and openness allows prosperity to flow steadily and expand naturally throughout the home. The second painting, images of swords or weapons. Some homeowners choose paintings of swords, blades, or weapons to express a strong personality or decisive character. However, in applied feng shui, sharp-edged visuals often introduce a sense of conflict or division into the living space. Aggressive lines and attack-oriented compositions increase tension unnecessarily, disrupting the stability that is essential for lasting prosperity. These effects are subtle and usually appear through visual perception. Pointed elements and sharp angles keep the mind in a state of vigilance, as if danger is always nearby. This makes it harder to relax, affecting concentration, clarity at work, and harmony among family members. A healthy energy environment needs soft, safe imagery that does not create invisible pressure on the people living within it. If you appreciate a warrior-like spirit or a powerful aesthetic, you can still choose pieces that convey strong energy without direct aggression. Sharp shapes without threatening meaning, abstract art in bold colors, or symbols of strength depicted in a gentle style can be excellent options. When the balance between personal style and comfort is maintained, the space feels more harmonious and the flow of prosperity is better supported in everyday life. The third painting, images that disrespect national or religious symbols. In applied Feng Shui, every image in the home contributes to the emotional field of the space. National and religious symbols carry much more energetic weight than ordinary images because they are tied to collective memory, belief systems, and spiritual values. When these deeply meaningful symbols are presented in a disrespectful way or placed in the wrong context, the energy associated with them becomes distorted. This is not about superstition. It is simply how certain visuals can naturally unsettle the emotional tone of a space. Modern Feng Shui emphasizes the importance of respectful and consistent visual representation as a way to improve the overall energy quality of a home. A sacred symbol placed in the wrong spot creates a disconnect between its true meaning and its physical presence. This subtle gap may reduce the sense of safety, even slightly, but enough to impact the mood, focus, and interactions of the people living there. When emotions are disturbed, wealth energy also struggles to stay balanced, because positive energy only thrives in an environment of stability and harmony. That is why national or religious symbols should be treated as energy anchors, not just decorations. When placed in a calm, respectful, and balanced area, they provide a sense of strength and help stabilize the environment. This stability becomes a foundation for prosperity to gather and spread, not due to mysticism, but because we all respond to what we see every single day. A space that is respected will naturally nurture positive emotions and support the overall well-being of the home. The fourth painting, portraits of the deceased displayed in the living room. Portraits or memorial paintings of deceased loved ones carry deep emotional meaning. However, when placed in the living room, where energy is most active and interactions occur, they can bring a heaviness that conflicts with the space's purpose. The living room thrives on openness, lively exchange, and flexible energy, while memorial images are quiet, inward-looking, and often evoke private memories. This contrast makes the room feel heavier and reduces the sense of comfort during family gatherings. In applied Feng Shui, the goal is to create a balanced environment that blends warmth and relaxation. When images of the deceased are placed in communal areas, the room's energy tends to become more solemn, which can limit openness in communication. Again, this is not about spiritual taboos. It is about how the brain responds to imagery tied to memory or loss. Such visuals tend to evoke deeper emotions and naturally slow down the family's interactive rhythm. The best solution is to place memorial photos in quieter spaces, such as a dedicated altar room, private bedroom, or a small corner set aside for remembrance. In the right location, these images retain their meaningful presence while allowing the living room to remain bright and welcoming, ideal for energy flow. Shared spaces should foster connection and vitality, and thoughtful arrangement helps your home achieve that balance naturally. The fifth painting, dark-colored or somber artwork paintings that use dark tones, barren landscapes, or gloomy skies often create a heavy feeling at first glance. In applied Feng Shui, these are considered to carry descending energy, a type of energy that lacks vitality and does not support expansion. When placed in key areas like the living room or main hallway, they can make the space feel unnecessarily somber, reducing the uplifting atmosphere that daily life depends on. This effect is not about superstition, but about how humans respond to visual environments. A healthy living space needs brightness, light movement, and images that encourage positivity. When dark, desolate artwork is introduced, it can pull down the household's mood, leading to withdrawal, reduced motivation, and difficulty maintaining optimism. Even in a well-organized home, gloomy visuals can make the atmosphere feel suffocating. This is a natural brain response to visual signals of decay. They remind us of decline, and constant exposure can impact emotional quality and family interactions. If you enjoy deeper or moodier artistic styles, you can still choose dark-tone pieces that are visually balanced. Look for artwork with clear structure, highlighted lighting, or harmonious design elements. These maintain artistic depth without creating emotional weight. When your visual surroundings are thoughtfully selected, your home's energy will stay stable and gentle, helping wealth energy circulate freely. A harmonious space is always the best foundation for peace and prosperity within a household. The sixth painting, waterfalls flowing toward the door. In applied Feng Shui, flowing water represents movement, nourishment, and the circulation of energy. However, the direction of the water flow in a painting significantly influences how the viewer perceives energy. When waterfalls or streams in the artwork appear to flow outward, toward the main entrance or hallway, it creates a subconscious impression that energy is being pulled away from the home. This reaction is not spiritual, but rather a visual perception. Movement away from you makes the brain associate it with loss or things slipping out of reach. In key areas like the living room or entryway, images that suggest outward motion often weaken the space's stability. Water flowing away from the home evokes a lack of retention, making the environment feel less secure. People living there may find it harder to hold on to things, whether that means finances, motivation, or a sense of stability, because the repeated visual signal influences how they feel and think about permanence and abundance. Over time, this affects mood, focus, and even financial decision-making. If you love waterfall imagery, the safest choice is to select paintings where the water flows inward, either toward the living space or toward the viewer. This suggests that prosperity is being received and supported. You can also choose peaceful water scenes like still lakes, calm rivers, or gently flowing streams. These create a sense of visual stability without implying loss, helping your home maintain a welcoming, grounded energy. The seventh painting, deer or reindeer. Heads paintings or decorative models of deer and reindeer heads are often used to add a touch of elegance in Scandinavian-style interiors. However, when the head is positioned to face directly toward the main door or hallway, it can create the impression that the energy within the house is being pushed outward. In applied Feng Shui, symbols that appear to look outward tend to disrupt the sense of groundedness, especially in the living room, which is meant to feel warm and energy retentive. From an environmental psychology perspective, a deer head facing the entrance often evokes a sense of detachment, making the room feel disconnected. The focus of the space is pulled outward, which weakens the cozy, unified atmosphere. Over time, people in the home may subconsciously absorb this feeling of dispersal, making it harder to concentrate, not due to spiritual beliefs, but because of the visual impact. If you are drawn to this style, the safest and most practical solution is to angle the deer head inward, so it gives the impression that energy is staying within the room. You can also choose stylized or abstract designs to minimize directional force. When positioned correctly, these pieces maintain their decorative charm without compromising the sense of balance and security within the home. The eighth painting, large areas of blood. Red color paintings that feature intense blood red shades over a large area often create an overwhelming visual effect at first glance. In applied Feng Shui, high-intensity red is considered an energy activator, ideal for festive spaces or areas that need a lively atmosphere. However, when this intense red dominates the living room or dining area, it can make the space feel overstimulating and tense. The oversaturation of red replaces natural warmth with constant visual stimulation, which is not ideal for spaces that require calm and comfort. According to environmental psychology, vivid red can elevate heart rate and emotional reactivity, making it harder for residents to maintain equilibrium. When large blood red sections cover the walls, they may subconsciously trigger associations with danger or stress, reducing the home's overall sense of relaxation. As a result, the household mood may become more sensitive, and even casual conversations may feel more intense. A home with good energy needs visual stability, and excessive red often breaks that essential balance. If you love red, a more balanced choice is to use warmer or earth-toned reds in smaller doses for subtle accents. These shades still add vitality without creating visual stress. Additionally, pairing red with neutral colors helps balance emotional impact and softens the overall space. When colors are used purposefully and in moderation, your home stays harmonious, and the flow of wealth energy remains smooth and uninterrupted. The ninth painting, stormy seas and giant waves. Paintings of turbulent seas, crashing waves, or violent water currents tend to make a very strong visual impression. In applied Feng Shui, water represents energy flow, but when it is portrayed in chaos, It signifies instability and lack of control. When displayed in living rooms or offices, images of rough waters can diminish the sense of safety and weaken the space's foundation. This has nothing to do with superstition. It is the psychological impact of aggressive motion on the human mind. From an environmental psychology viewpoint, paintings that show wild motion, like high waves, splashing foam, or stormy skies, can elevate emotional intensity. These visuals often evoke associations with pressure or unpredictable change, which can increase tension and make it harder for household members to remain emotionally stable. A space filled with chaotic imagery lacks the calmness that is essential for wealth energy to flow smoothly and sustainably. If you love marine art, a better choice would be paintings that depict peaceful water surfaces, a bright horizon, or gentle waves. These still express a sense of openness and serenity while maintaining the home's energetic balance. When water is represented in a harmonious state, it becomes a source of emotional nourishment and contributes to a more stable flow of wealth energy throughout the living space. The 10th painting, images that evoke sadness. Paintings that depict sorrow, tears, or despair often carry a very heavy emotional energy. In applied Feng Shui, the living environment should be filled with uplifting and open imagery to keep energy light and flowing. When deeply melancholic visuals are placed in central areas or appear too frequently, they can cause the entire home to slip into prolonged emotional heaviness. This has nothing to do with mysticism. It is how the brain responds to facial expressions or visual cues of sadness. People tend to unconsciously empathize with negative emotions. From an environmental psychology perspective, artwork that reminds us of grief or tragedy can directly impact the emotional state of those living in the space. It reduces motivation, limits creative energy, and makes the atmosphere feel more sensitive. This can lead to less natural communication, fewer moments of laughter, and a more reserved energy throughout the home. A house should be a place for emotional recovery and balance, and heavy imagery weakens that vital function. If you appreciate emotional depth in art, you can still choose pieces that reflect powerful themes, but with a more positive message, such as healing, light after hardship, or the spirit of resilience. These images are both beautiful and gentle, helping to stabilize the home's emotional tone while infusing it with positive energy. When visual art lifts your spirit rather than dragging it down, your home becomes a space where both prosperity and inner strength are naturally cultivated and sustained. After understanding which types of paintings can throw your living space out of balance and disrupt the flow of prosperity, the next important step is to choose artwork that truly nurtures abundance in your home. The first painting, bright and lively nature. Bright nature scenes, especially those featuring lush green trees or wide open skies, always bring an immediate sense of calm and comfort. In applied Feng Shui, these images help create a light, open, and balanced energy field, which is something every living space needs. Green tones and bright colors have a calming effect on the nervous system, reduce visual stress, and create the feeling of breathing deeper. As a result, your home feels more peaceful and grounded. When the living room or workspace is decorated with wide, open visuals like grassy fields, forests, or a bright horizon, they help the flow of energy move smoothly through the space, laying a strong foundation for long-term prosperity. Beyond aesthetics, uplifting nature scenes also do wonders for the emotional well-being of those living in the home. Green, refreshing landscapes naturally help people maintain a more positive mindset, boosting both concentration and emotional clarity. In modern Feng Shui, emotional stability is considered a key factor in sustaining prosperity. That's why bright nature art not only beautifies the home, it also supports a healthier, more prosperous living environment. This makes it a perfect match for American homes, which often prioritize openness, natural light, and a connection with nature. The second painting, family portraits or artwork. Family-themed artwork carries a special kind of warmth because it reminds us of connection, support, and core life values. When placed in the living room or a shared space, these images make the home feel more intimate and welcoming. In applied Feng Shui, The connection among family members is the foundation for a harmonious household. When the overall atmosphere is warm and cohesive, words, actions, and decisions within the family tend to be gentler and more understanding. This helps maintain steady energy in the home, a key condition for wealth energy to stay rather than disperse. From an environmental psychology standpoint, family images create a sense of safety and emotional support. They help reduce tension and increase positive communication among household members. When a space constantly sends signals of love and connection, the people living in it tend to maintain a healthier emotional state and make more thoughtful decisions, whether about work, money, or life in general. Family artwork also aligns beautifully with American values, where home and connection are essential parts of daily life. When placed thoughtfully, these images not only enhance your interior design, but also strengthen the emotional bond within the home, creating the stability needed for prosperity to grow naturally and sustainably. The third painting, symbols of hope and prosperity. Paintings that feature hopeful imagery, like a sunrise, birds in flight, a rainbow after the rain, or a stylized money tree, all bring a sense of upward movement, expansion, and vitality. In applied Feng Shui, these visuals are incredibly beneficial because they remind us of fresh beginnings, recovery, and optimism. Each of these symbols carries its own powerful energy. A rising sun symbolizes opportunity. Birds in flight represent freedom and momentum. A rainbow signifies balance after challenges, and a money tree reflects steady growth and abundance. When placed in the living room or workspace, these images make the area feel more open, brighter, and mentally uplifting. From the perspective of environmental psychology, hopeful visuals elevate the spirit, nurture resilience, and encourage creativity. When a space regularly sends positive cues to the brain, it becomes easier to stay calm, focused, and proactive, especially when making decisions. This mental clarity becomes the real foundation for wealth energy to grow, because prosperity only flourishes when the mind is open and emotionally well-nourished. These hopeful symbols are also a great fit for American lifestyles. Modern, minimalistic, yet deeply meaningful. When placed in your home, they serve as gentle daily reminders that things can always move in a better direction and that abundance begins from within. Feng Shui in the home does not have to be complicated or mystical. Sometimes it starts with a single, well-placed painting or a carefully chosen image on your wall. When a living space is filled with intentional, thoughtful visuals, the flow of energy becomes lighter, more balanced, and more supportive of your emotional health, family connection, and long-term financial well-being. A home with balanced energy is a place where the mind feels nourished and emotions stay steady. When your inner world is clear, it becomes much easier to make wise decisions in work, finances, and life overall. That is the true foundation of prosperity, not magic, but a mindful, supportive, and emotionally healthy environment for everyone in the household. Before you go, leave a comment down below with a positive affirmation, such as, "I choose to nurture my living space, and prosperity always stays with my home." And do not forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue expanding the positive energy in your home together.